is up, everybody? We're back in the truck. As you can see, it's a different truck. I got out of that one I've been in with all the other videos, and we're buying this one. So this is the new truck. It's a 2014 Peterbilt 587, and I just delivered my first load with it, and it was a doozy. I picked up some railroad ties in Arkansas on Monday morning. Today is Wednesday, and I'm in western Nebraska. It took me so long because I had some tire problems. Right after I picked up my load, I noticed I had a low tire, so I went to check it and ended up having to go to the shop and have it taken off and repaired. And then I'm going north and headed towards Nebraska, and all of a sudden it's dark out, and I'm in Kansas at the time. It's dark out that first night, and all of a sudden I hear a loud thud and look in my mirror and there's sparks going everywhere. So I pull over to see what's up, and I blew both my left rear tires on the trailer. So I was loaded with railroad ties. I weighed about 79,000 pounds, so that was a bad situation. I had two extra tires that could be mounted, but they weren't on wheels. So I had to call a road service. They come out. It was a newer guy. He said it was his first solo service call. He had been out with other guys and stuff, but never by himself. It took him 5 hours to get my old tires that were blown off and get the chunks of rubber out from, it was wrapped around my brake drum. So he had to really fight that. Then he got my spare tires mounted and sent me on my way. By then it was about 5 in the morning, so I went to bed for a little bit. Got up the next morning, and I drove on in to Nebraska, where I got two new tires. The two that blew were brand new. They only had like 2,000 miles on them. So it turns out the valve stem on the inside tire had been improperly installed, and they went ahead and tightened her down and sent it down the road. Well, I guess I'd blown that inner tire at some point after dark, and then a short time later it blew the outer. I'm pulling a low pro step, so it's got smaller tires on it than what you normally see. Anyway, so because of that, the tire shop, they covered both tires, and they repaired my mud flap hanger and replaced my mud flap for me. So that wasn't really the issue that held me up so long. It was that the tire, the wheel, that they didn't have the right valve stem in. It damaged the wheel because of that somehow. And anyway, they couldn't get a valve stem in it because it had a small hole for it to pull through, and it needed a little bit larger. Well, they wouldn't drill it out because of their policy, so I had to wait till morning and buy a new wheel, like $170. And then they went ahead and mounted my new tire and sent me on my way. So it's been a heck of a first trip, but we're done. We still made a profit, and life is good. I'm headed north now. I've been in Alliance, Nebraska, is where I dropped that off, and I'm headed north. I'm going to Minot, North Dakota, to pick up a fuel truck. It's a hazmat load. I'm going to haul it over to Idaho, maybe. I haven't got the rate confirmation yet, but it's a for sure deal. They just haven't sent it over. So anyway, I'm headed over there with that, and we're going to try and recover this week. You may hear some wind noise, by the way. Let's talk about that. Oh, also, before we get into that, last night I fired up my APU. I was so excited that I got an APU now. I don't have to idle or anything. Well, I fired up my APU, and realized it's blowing fuel all over the ground. So I've got a busted fuel line on that. I might have to fix, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till I get a reset and just do it myself, hopefully, and save a little money that way. Shouldn't be a big problem. If it's just a fuel line, I can just undo that and put a new one on, get on down the road. But anyway, the wind noise. So I was putting my my new Pike Pass and my there's little boxes that you stick on your windshield, and it allows you to go through the tolls without having to stop and pay. It just sends you the bill. Well, I was putting that on, and I was pushing it, putting some pressure on it, and my windshield moved like that far. It's hard to tell in this video, but like a quarter inch my windshield gave. So I did it again, and I could see daylight. Turns out the silicone or whatever it is that they glue windshields in is not adhered properly. So I found my wind noise. It's the daylight I can see through my windshield when you put pressure on it. So I'm gonna have to get that resealed. I guess they'll probably take it off and just redo, like a whole new windshield, like they would for a whole new windshield. My windshield's fine, it's just not glued in all the way. But anyway, so I'm learning that the most stressful part of buying a new truck is learning the bugs and figuring out, every truck's a little different and whatnot. So you gotta figure out the little quirks that come with it. And I'm guessing that probably the first couple of weeks is going to be stressful, and I'm going to find stuff wrong and have little things to address. But overall, the truck's running great. I've been in a headwind the whole time pretty much, so my fuel mileage hasn't been what I thought it would be. But on my way to pick up, I was empty, and I was getting 10 miles a gallon out of it. So it can do really well on fuel when you don't have a headwind and full load. But anyway, so I'm excited about that. I got my hair cut. I meant to tell you that too. Got my hair cut while I was at home. It was down, as you guys saw in the other videos, it was down to my shoulders. I tell you, I liked it, but every time I'd be out working on a load or something, it never failed. The wind would be blowing, it'd be blowing my hair in my face, and it'd get me all aggravated. I'd be fighting that. It's just not worth it to have that extra annoyance. There's already enough things to fight and to annoy me throughout the day doing this job, so my hair blowing in my face doesn't need to be one of them. So cut her off. I cut my beard down a little bit, got it under control, and I spent almost 2 weeks at home. It started snowing. The day I got home, it started snowing real bad, and I had to drive through the weather for, I don't know, most of that day. And I got home, and it was snow on the ground, and it snowed a bunch, and it was cold, and ice, and everything else. And I could have picked a better time to go home, because the 2 weeks that I spent, I would have been parked at a truck stop where I would have been hauling. There was no trucks moving. It was dead in the water. So I picked a great time to get home. But it was nice to get to be home with the family for a couple of weeks. And I played a little music and had fun, and now we're back at it, and we're in the new truck, and I'm excited. Excited to try this owner-operator thing, but the first load was miserable. I will tell you that. Anyway, hopefully the audio on this is okay. The wind noise from this windshield is just crazy. So if it's not, I'm going to have about 9 minutes of video to reshoot and try to remember what I was talking about. Anyway, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next one. Be careful out there. We'll see you.